Thank you so much for tuning in to the Randy Rex Show. This episode is dedicated to that nice man at work that told me I look and sound like I belong on a podcast. Thank you so much. This one is for you. So it's funny because I didn't feel like I was my best self when I saw this person. And I actually got in my head thinking that they were thinking negative things about me. So that just goes to show you, always keep a positive mind frame. And as much as it is a struggle, a lot of the times people don't realize what's going on with you internally. And I know that might sound silly and pointless to say, but I have been the type of person that will really just make up what I think someone else is thinking or why they're doing something. And not only will I make up that story in my head, but then I will go forward as if that is reality. And I'm not doing that anymore. I don't really want to go on a soapbox about what it is to address your inner demons and what is the best way for you to get out of that. But it's just so funny to me because I just felt like I was the opposite of everything that he was saying. It just made me feel so special. I don't know why, but obviously, we as humans seek that validation, that outside validation. I'm no different. And so just hearing that and getting that from a complete stranger, I'm like, you know what? He is right. He is right. There is something about me, and as a matter of fact, I already put myself out there. Maybe it's not in podcast form, but I have this, and this is where I have been able to just kind of be myself and let that inner part of myself reflect out finally without feeling like I'm going to get in trouble or there's going to be some sort of judgment to come and ruin the party. I think a lot of people can relate to that, especially nowadays when you think about all of the things that are going on in the world. I think it's more relatable to people than a lot of us that are like me, myself, can kind of feel like it's just us or like we're just in our own world. And I really, really felt that way before I was interacting with this person. And then when I was kind of forced to interact with them, it really made me stop in my tracks and remind myself of who I really am and who I want to be. And if I'm really putting myself out there like that, if I'm really putting my money where my mouth is, if I'm really doing the hard work and I'm not just expecting the reward. But that's me, and that's my soapbox for today. I hope you all don't think that I'm completely insane, because again, I need that validation. So last Sunday was the Big Brother 27 finale, and it was quite a show. Apparently, the finale was viewed so much more so than finales in the past, and even just this season in general, ratings were up. So let's check into my Big Brother 27 coverage. So Ashley won. Spoiler alert. Um, yeah, it was a pretty crazy episode because, well, we knew Ashley won the second part of the HOH competition. If you're not a Big Brother person like I am, the final HOH competition is always 3 parts, and Morgan won the first part. Ashley won the second part, which means that Vince has no chance of winning that final HOH, and the only chance he has of going to the final 2 is if someone takes him. And this also means that Morgan and Ashley are going to be competing in the final HOH competition to determine who is the final HOH. Now, as I'm watching this with my family, I was pretty shocked. I got very excited when I realized that Morgan was choking. I hate to say it like that, but you really did see Morgan struggle in that final 3 HOH competition. But yeah, so Ashley really blew her out of the water. I think Morgan got the first question right with Ashley, and that was the only question that Morgan got right. And Ashley got every question right. And they only got to 4 questions because, as Julie stated, there was no reason to continue as Ashley was the winner. And so, we were pretty convinced that Ashley was going to cut Morgan and take Vince to the final 2. And that's exactly what she did. And she really owned the jury portion of this game. She really owned her final speech. I'm just so proud of her, to be 100% frank. Thursday night, we got new episodes of The Real Housewives of Orange County and The Real Housewives of Miami. And it was the first reunion episode of Miami. And of course, I shouldn't say of course, luckily, we got the big drop. You never know how reunions will go. And as I stated in last week's episode, there was this big tease to this reunion and some big bombshell that was going to be dropped by Julia in particular. And we finally got the episode, and it was a really good episode. Okay, maybe not a really good episode. It was a good episode, and then at that part, it got really good. But of course, this is all happening as the credits are rolling. So we literally just saw Julia say her bombshell, which is that her and Adriana hooked up, had sex, season 4 of The Real Housewives of Miami, whatever it is, 3+ years ago, in the Hamptons, when they went to their cast trip in the Hamptons. I was pretty shocked. I didn't see that coming, and that is a reunion first. So Julia did not lie. She did deliver on her promise that this was a reunion first. I'm pretty sure it was her who said that the tease that a first was going to happen at this reunion that, had never happened at any housewife reunion ever. And as far as I know, she's correct. There has never been a housewife to confess that she hooked up with another housewife at the at the reunion. This is crazy. Of course, you know me, and I'm already thinking of what's ahead and what's to come. And I love Miami. I really, sometimes these housewife shows get into get on a roll, and they have a cast that is just a really fire, as the kids nowadays, well, they used to say. So I don't know. I don't want to see anyone go. I don't think anyone should go. Apparently, Gertie, Julia, and Adriana are on the chopping block. And part of me wants to assume that Adriana and Julia are on the chopping block because of this drama, because they don't think viewers are gonna like it. I don't know. These are all those are rumors. I want to see what these group of 9 women have in store. I don't want to see any of them go yet. And it's crazy because we only have Stephanie, I'm presuming, because Nicole decided not to, be a part of the show this season. So if she wants to come back, I mean, does she have like an open invitation? Are we going to have more than 9 housewives? Granted, I know we only have 6 through and through housewives on the show, but if you include Marisol, Kiki, and Adriana, they, obviously play a big part in the show. They are, I don't really know if they're featured just as much or more than any of the actual main cast members, but they're such a huge fixture in the show. I don't know. I don't want to see them go. Maybe I'm being spoiled. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I want to keep the cast the way that it is. Orange County is crazy as always. Heather found out that the women were kind of questioning her being taking improv classes and being a part of the Groundlings and whatever comedic acting. So there was a little bit of drama there. Tamra showed a screenshot or something showing that Jen started to follow this singer, this musician that apparently Tamra hooked up with way back when he was helping her record a song. Like they were like playing around in the studio and apparently one thing led to another. They had sex while they were recording. That's the rumor. And then when Jen found out about this, shortly after, she started following that musician on like Instagram. And then that musician's now wife, I guess, screenshot that and gave it to Tamra. And so Tamra shows that to everyone there, and they don't like it, but at the same time they don't understand why Jen would have followed that guy. And then also Tamra tells the women that she's going to meet up with Katie. And Emily is like, oh, no, you don't. If you meet up with Katie, I'm going to be mad. And so there's that bit of tension. From the preview, we know that Tamra does meet up with Katie. So that's going to be interesting. Now Tamra's kind of joining in on Katie's narrative that Gretchen is lying about things that she said to the other women. Gretchen said she didn't say certain things. Katie obviously is saying she did. And now Tamra is thinking that Gretchen is back to her old ways and she's lying about this in particular. So we're going to see that next episode. It's really it. Salt Lake City was a good episode, but that's not really what I plan on talking about so much. What I really need to talk about is Survivor. I really love these long episodes of Survivor. You get to see so much of the tribe dynamics. And for whatever reason, I don't know if like Survivor, the show itself, is just like kind of getting into its own rhythm. But I feel like this season, more than any other, they're really doing a great job of showing everyone, even though it might not be for a long time, but they're like showing everyone in their tribes and like how they all fit together and how it flows and just like the whole, community that those tribes have set up. So in the blue tribe, they've already lost 2 people. They're down to 4 people. They have Jake and Sophie, who are super close. I'm pretty sure they're each other's number ones. And then you also have Jeremiah and Alex. Now, Alex is the one that Jake is kind of broing out with, and is like kind of, he loves that guy. They love each other. They have their bromance. So the fourth one and the bottom of that tribe is Jeremiah, who I love for obvious reasons. He's such a sweetheart. In the red tribe, you have the main 4 alliance there, and we see them strategizing together, but we also see a little tension between the 4 of them. Savannah, Sophie, Riz God, and Nate. They are all together in that majority alliance on the red tribe. But Savannah is not feeling Shannon. I don't know if I said Sophie, but it's Shannon. And Shannon is kind of just like that hippy dippy, like everyone love each other, peace and love the earth, love the earth that we can, that we live on. Savannah doesn't buy that. She thinks that there's more strategy going on behind that image that Shannon is putting out there. So I don't think that Shannon is going to make it very far. And I am going to put it out there. I'm going to predict that Shannon is one of the next 3 people to go home. We'll see. Mark my words. So there's that. The other 2 people that are not really in that alliance are Jawan, which is very sad because I love Jawan. He's such a sweetheart, has such a big heart, has just such a cute personality, cute guy. And then there's Sage, who I love as well. She's one of my winner picks in the draft that we did. So I'm sad to see both of those 2 people on the outs, but I'm hoping that it's not a sealed destiny, a sealed fate of what's going to happen with those 2. We'll see what the future holds. And then finally, the yellow tribe. What is going on with the yellow tribe? I think they showed a little bit more of them, and I really got to know a little bit more of them this episode. I don't remember any of it right now, and I need to be better about taking notes. But one thing I do remember, so one person from each tribe had to go on a journey. They had a competition, and the winner of that competition had the opportunity to reward themselves and steal one of the other 2 players' votes, or they could reward their tribe and give one of the other tribes a disadvantage at the next immunity challenge. And Jawan does win this for his tribe, and Savannah even says that buys him a little bit more grace with her, a little bit more time in the game. So there's that. But they ultimately put it on the yellow tribe. They don't want to put it on the blue tribe because they've already lost 2 people in a row. They don't want to really kick them while they're down. Lo and behold, that the blue tribe lost, and they had to go to tribal again, and they voted out Annie. And Annie thought that she was running shit, and she wasn't. Annie, if you're out there, hi. You were great on the show. You were great on Rob Has a Podcast. Annie is a fellow Austinite, and maybe I'll run into her out there in the wild world when I'm being my normal, lovable self. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune in next week.